So Adrian, you have offices in London, Singapore and Hong Kong. What advantage do you see Hong Kong gives you to have a presence there?
Once we made that decision that we were going to open an office in Hong Kong, we could start to see the benefits. And after I visited there a couple of times and totally loved the place, the vibrancy, the energy, the enthusiasm for doing business, and actually how relatively easy it is to do business in Hong Kong. As you know, Asia is not necessarily an easy place for a Western company to trade, but Hong Kong itself, possibly because a lot of the legal structures, the business structures are kind of British based. It was very familiar territory for us. So we didn't really see any particularly strong barriers to entry for us to get in there and to use that as a base to branch out into the rest of the Pacific region.
So Adrian, we talk about your business, your Hong Kong operations, and what tips would you give to digital marketing companies to operate or do business in Hong Kong and Asia?
I would say the first thing is they do need to do a bit of homework before they make that bold decision. I'm sure that they generally would do, but make sure that you go into the whole thing with your eyes open, because while in many respects my experience has been a success, you have to be aware that if things don't work out, then how do you cope with that? There will be challenges, and to go in and try and fix them could be difficult. And then also understand how you're going to support your team that you set up there, because they might need more help than you realize, and they will feel very cut off. So I think that's probably been one of the bigger challenges for us, is making sure that that local team feels still part of the mothership back here in London.
And I think how you start your operation in Hong Kong is set a very good example for companies here. They might not have a whole team there on the first place. It's costly and expensive, time consuming. Maybe finding the right partners first, and finding your right partners and then start growing from there. So Adrian, we talk about the market trend has changed a little bit during COVID, and in this new normal, what the key trends in these sectors that you have seen?
First of all, that companies that have been hesitant about digital in the past now have to catch up. So I think basically the only game in town, certainly in the UK, is digital. You've got to double down on digital, which is, I guess, good news for companies like us. I think there's been a step change in maturity as well, but just because the market has been difficult. So I think that people have taken a step up in the way that they are using data. I've certainly seen it in the UK.
So Adrian, it's really lovely talking to you today. So maybe on the last note, what is Mezzo's plans for the future?
Mezzo's plan for the future is that we are moving from just services into software, because it is hard to scale a people-based company, particularly in a market where the skills are not easy to find and they take a long time to train up. So that has been a challenge to us, and it's a challenge to every agency, every consultancy. It's like, where do you find good people to scale? So some time ago I started developing a product because we saw a gap in the market. And essentially it's a software product that helps track the bit between an advert that you place online and the website. So it's trying to make sure that we don't lose that traffic and that we can see it in the data at a very granular level, so that we can look at what adverts are working and what adverts are not working.
But the essence of your company, even though you move it on to the software, you're still supporting them, you're still offering advice, consultancy?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. So we are very much a consultancy. So what we like to do is to help customers mature, help move up in terms of their maturity. So the consultancy is very important for us because it sort of sets that vision for where a company should be and helps them find a path to it.
Well, I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much indeed, Daisy.
Thank you, Adrian.
Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure.